Are your kids coming home from your exes upset? They're having meltdowns, they're tearful, they're full of rage. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what to do so you can help your kiddos on transition days and the days that follow, and everybody can get through this in a safe, healthy way. Thank you so much for watching. This is Case by Case Divorce. I'm Vea. I'm here to give you the tools, techniques, and validation that you need to get through your high conflict divorce. If your kids are coming home upset from your ex's house because they are being neglected, emotionally abused, gaslit, mentally abused, ignored, cold-shouldered, any of those things, the first thing you want to do is just love the heck out of your kids. You want to make your home and their time with you in your home as safe, predictable, reliable, and full of connection that you can. You can also do stuff like grocery shop or run errands or prep meals when they're at the other parent's house. I know that's not always possible, but if it is, that's a great investment to make so that when your child is home with you, you just have time and attention to spend on them. The second and maybe most important thing you need to do to help your kid through this difficult time is regulate your own emotions. So children are very empathic. They're very sensitive to energies, and especially they're very sensitive to what's going on with their main parent. So if your kid's coming home all upset and they're having meltdowns, it's very likely that you're responding to that with your energy system, your emotions, and your body. If you notice that you're getting tight through your chest or your heart or your throat or your stomach or your back, or you just notice you're getting angry or you're feeling upset, that feeds off of your child's upset and it doesn't help the situation. Of course, it's totally valid. I understand through so much personal experience the heartbreak of having your kids come home and sharing with you the terrible things that happened and how it impacted them. I get it. But what's most helpful for your kids is if you can regulate that on your own so that when they're sharing with you, the focus and attention is all on them, and that the message they're getting from your body and your heart and your energy system is that it's okay, they're safe with you, and you're gonna get through this together. You have to take the position of being the strong, held together person, the rock that they can anchor to, even if you don't always feel that way. So how do we do this? How do we regulate our emotions? How do we move through this? The way you do this is by turning towards your anger, your sadness, your helplessness, your sense of rage, your resentfulness. We turn towards our feelings instead of turning away from them. And this is super counterintuitive because everything we've been taught by our parents, by school, by media, by culture, by society is to push away any uncomfortable feelings that we have. But I promise you this is the way through. By turning towards our feelings, what will happen is they're gonna get bigger for a few moments. And then if we can just stay there with ourselves and feel what's happening in our body when we feel these feelings, if we stay with it long enough, they melt away. Now, I gotta just preface this isn't a one-shot deal. This is very much like a layers of an onion thing where you can move through your grief 1 minute, and if everything's been really acute for a couple of years, you're gonna have to do that over and over and over for a while, like months or maybe years. But as you practice this, it happens faster, it's less painful and acute, and you get to a grounded, clear, solid place faster. So it's a practice. What I like to do is just close my eyes and put my hand over my heart and just be quiet for a minute. And so often, even still, I've been practicing this for years, grief will come up. And if I just sit with it, keep breathing, it comes up like a wave, it peaks, and then it comes down. So move towards your feelings, clear out as many of them as you can, as often as you need to, so that when your child is coming to you with their feelings, you're not responding in a triggered way. The next thing we can do for our kids is make room for their feelings. And if your kid is already coming home crying or having meltdowns and letting you comfort them, you are 100% on the right track, and this is great news. We need to remember that trauma doesn't happen because something bad happened. Trauma occurs when we are left alone with the feelings around something bad happening. So by creating a safe space for your child to express and share their sadness, their confusion, their rage, their guilt, their whatever, you're eliminating or at least minimizing the damage that's being done by the other parent. I'm noticing in myself right now that even just talking about this is making me feel a little bit triggered. So I'm going to do a breath break. Join me. Yes, breath break. So examples of this are hugging your child while they're crying and just letting them know that you love them no matter what. I like to congratulate my children after they've had a meltdown and tell them, wow, you really worked through some big feelings there. I'm so proud of you. You did a great job. And then we redirect. We go have dinner, or we do some playing or something. Another thing that can be great is to give them an avenue to get their anger out. So that can look like, whoa, you're looking really angry right now. Look at this bear. Why don't we punch him a little bit and get all that anger out? Of course, this has to be age appropriate. This isn't going to work for a teenager, but finding ways to let your kid feel their feelings in a healthy, productive way is so valuable for them. Or in times when things are too acute for the children to meet their feelings head on, it's helpful to come alongside and kind of access those feelings like kind of on a sneak attack from the side. So a great example of that is getting a ball and saying, let's play pass. And then instead of passing back and forth, you bounce the ball on the ground before it gets to the other person. And then you can say, I'm gonna bounce the ball as hard as I can, and really make a show of being like, yeah, and encourage them to use their voice. Making noise and using your voice is a great way to regulate the nervous system and bring your emotional body into coherence. So encourage your kids to yell and make noise if they're hitting or throwing balls hard. Sometimes kids like to run. The point is, make it a family practice to acknowledge the feelings that are happening and make room for them in a healthy way. And finally, of course, you need to document all this. Check out my video down below. I've linked to it on how to document for divorce. And if things are getting out of hand, like they're really escalating, you're noticing physical changes in your child, like bedwetting or problems with bathroom stuff, or if they're a little bit older, they're getting to cutting or eating disorder stuff or substance abuse, it's time to involve trained professionals. And I'm not talking about play therapists, I'm talking about therapists that are practiced working in the arena of high conflict divorce, because the notes that they take may make or break your case later on if you're trying to make a move around changing parenting time. Okay, and I'll just throw in a couple bonus tips here for you. You can create a family tradition around come home times and transition days. This can be like on transition day, we always have a certain meal or a certain cup of tea or a certain drink. It can be as soon as you come home from transition, we do like super extendo hug. Some children might want to have a shower or a bath as soon as they come home, which is a ritualistic, physical, somatic way of cleansing. You can do energetic cleanses like smudging your children or just doing a clearing where you put your hands over the outside of their energy system and just whisk any bad energy away. You can do that without them knowing or with them knowing. Generally, the more involved kids are, is the more empowered they feel. Even just acknowledging, hey, maybe it was a bit rough at the other parent's house. Let's do what we can to get some of that out. Maybe you want to do some shakes or some wiggles. It all depends on your child. If you need more information on this, please drop me a comment and ask me a question. I'll do my best to answer you, or maybe even make a new video to address it. I really hope this video helped. If it did and you find it valuable, please click like, subscribe, or share it with people that you think it will help, because that's the whole point. And take good care. See you next time.